a little bit of background. We became a family in 2011, June of 2011. I grew up here as a missionary kid, so have been in the Philippines my entire life. In fact, a few years ago, it dawned on me that I've actually lived in the same subdivision my entire life. So this is definitely home for me. Became a family in 2011 and have been living in this current home God gave us at the end of 2012. So we've been here nearly 10 years now. Last year, we're able to start a second rescue home. So I found myself always really full here in this home, and we try not to go beyond 45. So in January of 2021, we welcomed two of our first girls into rescue home number 2, and they now have 18 girls currently in that home. This year, it's been really encouraging for me to see so many of my older girls kind of stepping into leadership roles and but really grabbing onto Jesus and saying, hey, I'm yours, use me where you want me. And so several have stuck around and continue to serve in CTL in different avenues. Actually, a few of my oldest are really running rescue home number 2, and it's just so exciting to see that happening. There's others that have graduated college or that have left after finishing education statuses and are working in other NGOs today or serving in different businesses as accountants and stuff like that. So it's just, I've just been really encouraged to see, not everyone gets to see the fruit of their labor, but it's just been a really beautiful gift from the Lord to just see so many of my older girls thriving today and loving Jesus with all their heart. So currently, right now, we have 46 here, 46 in our family. So we're right one over 45. We're feeling it, aren't we? Jules and Ina are two of my oldest in the home today, and so they're actually technically caregivers now. We call them junior staff, but they work really hard, and they're definitely caregivers and help run our family everywhere that we need to go on a daily basis. Anyway, my youngest 2 are now 9, but they both came to me when they were 3. And then in the Maris home, the second home, our youngest is 8 right now. So yeah, so they're not too little, but we'll bring in as young as 3. 3 is the youngest, and they both moved in with older sisters, but they too had experienced sexual abuse when they prior to them moving in. So it was really good that we were able to bring in the littles.
Yeah.
I have an amazing staff. So yes, I am called mom. But at the same time, I'm one of many different figures that play an important role in the girls' lives. So here in our home, we have 3 social workers, and they really take on the responsibility of the case management, the nitty-gritty, heavy details of their stories, and they also help a lot in the court hearings and cases. We do have a law firm that also partners with us when we need extra legal help in the courtroom. I have I have a couple drivers that help because, as you can imagine, we don't just all fit into one car as a family of nearly 50. And so during the week, going to and from school or even homeschool and things like that, I have a couple drivers that help, a few caregivers. Here in the home, it's just myself and the girls that live here, but my 4 oldest are technically caregivers now, and so that's how we kind of play it on the legal side, because we do partner with the DSWD, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, and so they license us, they accredit us as an organization, and we have to fall under several rules and regulations that they that they require for us to do. So the daily life, I mean, as you can imagine, we're up around 6 a.m. Breakfast is being cooked by a caregiver that comes in around that time. We have 24/7 security. And so during the night, that's one way that we're secure in the evenings is through security guards. Um, and girls leave and head towards school before 8, and yet it's somehow, even with most of them gone into the homeschool program, we're still really busy and loud all day long. We've got a laundry room. Girls do all their laundry. We have our routine really hits near the evening hours. So around 5:30, dinner's ready, and between 5:30 to 6:15 is dinner time. And then I yell out chores, or Juves or Ina yell out chores time, and everyone starts getting busy doing their different areas of the home that they're assigned to for that day. And then at 7 p.m. every night we sit down for family time, is what we call it, and it's a variety of different things that we do on a nightly basis, whether it's reading our Bible. We're currently in Ezekiel together, and we have a joyful, thankful night where everyone one by one goes around and acknowledges one thing that Jesus has given them joy over in the past week, and one thing that they're thankful for to him. So it's a way of that's a really healing night, because sometimes we're not in a place of thanksgiving and joy, and we're forced to acknowledge one thing that he's been really good to us in recently, and that's really helpful. Right now we're going through testimonies, and so that's every Thursday night, and we have 2 girls that share their stories to the rest of the family, and then we kind of have an open forum of questions, and then we gather around them. We put them in the center of our living room, and we pray for them. So yeah, that's a really important time, and I think Juves and Ina both kind of touched on that a little bit during their stories. Family time is really important, and then bedtime starts happening around 8 to 11, kind of every 45 minutes. So we have amazing counselors, psychologists that partner with us. So it's nothing that any of us do alone. The Lord has fully equipped the most amazing team to accomplish everything that he wants us to in CTL.
How many workers total?
Yeah, I currently have a staff of 40 between the 2 homes, and that includes our 7 teachers and our 4 security guards and 5 social workers, caregivers, etc.
So it's really cool that it's like, yes, we're meeting all the needs of these girls, but now we have 40 other families that are being affected and being cared for, and it's really neat to see this unfold. So when you're giving to Consider Lily, you're literally covering so many different people's lives.
Yeah. Really, yeah, they're really a part of our family, and then their extended family is also part of our family. So it goes wide. It's a lot cheaper. I would imagine, yes, it's a lot cheaper here than it would be compared to the U.S. So the number that I shared, it will cover, uniforms and books, curriculum, everything, education, is what that number covers. Our like for college, it's anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 a year in education, depending on the school and the course that they're studying. For high school, it's right at $2,000. For elementary, it's right at $1,000 roughly per year. So yeah, and I'm anticipating that we'll have 25 in our Ameris family, and then my 46 here, plus a couple of my oldest that are doing master's programs and things like that now. So there's just a few of us in school at the moment.
The answer is yes. And it's not we are, as we grow, it's not a matter of just, hey, let's get other houses. There is a system in which this operates well, and it needs to be cared for, and it needs to be the right people, and it needs to be the quality. And so even though the money may be there or whatever to expand, if we don't have the right people in place, we're pumping the brakes. And so we do have right people in that second home, and it's the girls coming in that have been, whether it's Anna Rose or Anna Marie or Annie. So you've got that happening. And so right now we're renting the second home. We have property that we purchased to build on. And as the building is expensive in the United States, it's expensive in the Philippines right now too. So the same inflation stuff that we're hitting, it's hitting their country as well. So we have kind of slowed down a little bit. We still want to get out. We have till May of 2023 our current lease in the second home. So our plan is to have another structure, another home, so that we can grow and as long as there's money keep coming in, the Lord provides, and we have the right workers, we're going to continue to rescue as many girls as possible.
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll go ahead and use her name. Lovely came to us in 2019, 18, and her court hearings and cases, she had already testified and finished that part of the hearings before moving in. And so we didn't actually have to attend. The court that she filed in was about 8-hour drive away. And so she moved in and we didn't have to necessarily get involved in the hearing part. But when it came time for the verdict to be read, we flew out to the province where she got to listen to the verdict. And when we sat down in the court, we waited for a little while, and then it was her stepfather that had abused her, and so he was escorted in. And we're sitting there, and the judge comes in. And, Lovely had already shared several times about a year and a half prior to this event. And the judge comes in and sits down and calls out the name and kind of mumbles something like, "Oh yes, I'm aware of this case, like as in I remember this." And then she looks into the crowd and she goes, where is Miss Acaro? Like where is Lovely? And she was sitting right there in front of her, but Lovely had changed so much in a year and a half. There had been so much redemption and work in her life in just a year and a half that the judge couldn't find her. And so finally Lovely stands up and says, "I'm here, Your Honor." And the judge just kind of in unjudged fashion, or whatever you call it, just kind of was like, "Whoa, I can't recognize you." So finally, all of that finishes. Lovely walks forward, and the verdict begins. For I think it was 7 counts of abuse that had been filed, he was sentenced to a couple lives in prison. And that was the end of it. But I guess I choose that one just because it's really neat to see what the Lord can do in their lives, and even such a short amount of time. And though these court hearings and cases can be really heavy and scary and intimidating for the girls, the team that surrounds them really carries them through, and Jesus does just an amazing work. So it's one of many things that happens in their lives, and it's not highlighted. It doesn't define them, but it is always a part of their story, and neat to see them get through it. Hope that answers.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah. Well, I'm going to close in prayer, and just a reminder, if you're not able to give, that's fine. If you can be praying, we'll take that 100%. And then maybe if what you've heard and you want to share it with others, we'd be happy to hear that, for you to do that as well. That's really how this has all come together. It's just word of mouth, and here we are with over 80 girls that have been rescued and been into the home over the last 10 years is amazing. And those are lives that are changed forever. And thankful for each of you joining on this call and being a part of that.